Hi, welcome to Brainweaver's E-Trade Retail Management System. In today's session, we will discuss about a very useful managerial tool, receivables management. Nowadays, 99% of the business failures are due to the lack of sufficient working capital to run the business in the way they wish to do. And the most important thing is all the business will start with enough capital, and in reality 80% of the capital will be invested on inventories, and a major portion of the asset will be in the hands of sundry debtors due to the credit sale. The fund will be in the hands of the public. Maybe 15 days credit you will be giving, 30 days credit you will be giving. After the credit period, you have already given to each of your customer based on the volume they purchase from us. If you are not able to realize or recover that payment within the credit period you have granted, you will find it very difficult to run your show due to the lack of enough working capital. If you want to buy new inventories, depend upon the nature of your business, you have to buy inventories on season wise, especially if you are doing a business of garments. There will be 5 or 6 festival seasons in a year. In each season, the design styles will be different. So each season, you must buy some new designs to manage the season, and for that, you should require enough working capital. But in fact, the fund will be in the hands of sundry debtors. If you are not maintaining a proper system for good follow up to recover the amount from the customers, you will find it very difficult to run the show. Most of the people will be making the follow up only at the time they have very tight on working capital. Till that time, they will not make any regular or routine follow up unless and until you will make very perfect follow up on regular interval. No one is going to make you the payment unless and until you will make the proper follow up. Definitely 50% of your customers will not make the payment unless you make a follow up call with the customer. Even if you make follow up, 50% fund or customers will give you a small payment based on the continuous follow up, and out of that 50, 20% customers will give you only 10 or 30% what you have expected, and 20% people will never give you the fund on the time, and it will be doubtful. To avoid such problems, in Brainweaver's E-Trade retail management system, there is an effective method of proper payment follow-up from the customers. From the reports menu, you can see list of accounts. Otherwise, in the home screen, press mouse right button. Here also you can see a list of accounts. In this list, whatever ledger accounts you have created in the system under various accounts group like expense, supplier, liability, customer, bank, purchase, sale, whatever ledger accounts you have already created, that will appear in this list of accounts or chart of accounts along with the opening balance information, the transaction debit and credit amount, and at the moment what is the closing balance, whether it is a debit balance or credit balance. This chart of account is a consolidated statement as of today from the beginning of the company. Suppose you are sitting in front of your computer or office to make follow-up with your customers for asking payment. In the below you can see one combo box is here. Choose the account group type as customer. Click on this filter button. Here we can see system will filter only those ledger accounts in the screen that we have created in the account group customer. So these are the receivables at the moment. Here we can see the customer name. Is there any opening balance? And at the moment, what is the transaction debit amount and credit amount at the moment? How much is the receivable from this specific customer? For example, in the first customer CC Bakery, at the moment there is nothing receivables from this customer. Here we can see 0 is the closing balance. And the second one we can see customer ABC, 27 lakh is receivable from this customer. If you want to see what are the transactions we have posted or entered in this customer ABC's ledger, by placing the cursor on this specific customer name or ledger account and by pressing the enter key, instead of going to a specific ledger account for a quick reference, you will get all the transaction list, how much sales we have made to this customer, how much amount we have received as cash and bank, is there any sales return, everything, or is there is any JVs like debit note, credit note we have issued. All that information we will see in this list as a quick reference. So before you make a call to your customer, just view it to understand what is the last few transactions in this customer's ledger account. If you want to see, here we can see all types of ledger transactions you can see in this list. Out of this, you only wish to see the cash or bank receipt. In the top, just enter receipt, and by pressing the enter key here, the system will filter only those transactions that the customer has sent you the payment. So these are the payment we received from this specific customer ABC, and on what date, what is the reference receipt, reference number, everything you can see. So January 22nd January 2024 is the last payment we received from this customer. The last payment what he has made is only 50 rupees. So in this way, you will get a quick reference about the payment information or received information, the sales information, everything you will get by pressing the enter key. Suppose you are making phone call to this customer and you will be engaged in a half day, you will be engaged in making follow-up calls to different customers, and different customers has told you different excuses. Some customers may commit you the payment fee, part of the payment on so and so day, and some customers told you they are expecting some funds from their customers during a specific period. So after you complete the follow-up call, definitely 50% of the feedback, customer feedback, you will forget from your mind. Even if you put writing on a diary that so and so customer told so and so date they will make the payment. So you will be recording or keeping a record of all such feedback in your diary. That will be available only in your diary only. In the next time, if another person is making the follow-up with the customer, they don't know what this specific customer has committed in the previous call, because in the previous case maybe the follow-up have attended by another person and he has recorded it in his own personal diary. To avoid this, before you make any follow-up call to a customer, before you make the call, just see the ledger history, the payment tracking. After that, make a call to him, and by placing the cursor on a specific ledger account, here in the top right side you can see one tracker button. Tracker. Click on this. When you make the call, what is the answer or commitment promised by this specific customer? You can write that commitment here. What is the customer's feedback? If customer has told you they will be making the payment in the next week, to say, suppose this customer has told us today is 1st January. Suppose today I called this customer 2025. Customer told me promise the payment on 10th January. They are expecting fund. Suppose this is the feedback the customer has told you today. When you make the follow-up call, you can write the customer feedback in this ledger tracker window, and by entering the feedback, by clicking the save button, you can post it. Then you can make or attend another customer. The same way, by clicking the tracker, what this customer has told you regarding the payment, that you can update in this ledger tracker form. Once you complete the follow-up information, you can click on save button. In this way, you can record all the feedback in this ledger tracker. Suppose in the next week you are planning to make the further follow-up call with all the customers, first you can generate a report about how many customers has committed the payment, or what was the previous commitment from all the customers, that you can generate by clicking this button. Here we can see how many customers has promised you about the payment, or how many customers has given you some excuses about the payment. You can read this follow-up information first. Based on this, you can also make further follow-up today. For example, the customer ABC. After 10 days, you are again going to make further follow up. Just select the or place the cursor on this specific customer, and by clicking this tracker button, we can read what was the follow up or commitment this customer has told you when you make follow up in the last time. Here we can see 1st January was the last time you contacted this customer for payment follow up, and on that day customer promised you that on 10th January they will be going to make some payment to you. Suppose today is the 15th January, we can also ask him or request him for making the payment, even if he repeat the same story what he told you last time. We can also told him or tell him that on so and so date you have told the same story, and you have promised us that they will be expecting some fund. What happened to that fund? Don't you receive it or not? In such a way, you can make a healthy payment follow up with your all customers. If they realize that you are making a proper feedback or maintaining a proper feedback, they cannot make you lie all the time, because they will give you some priority because you are so vigilant and you are recording all their feedback in your system, so they cannot make you fool all the time. So in this way you can manage your customers for payment follow up regularly and efficient manner with the help of this payment tracker in Brainweaver's e-trade retail management system. This is very useful. It is mandatory that you should put a system of making follow up on regular intervals. Otherwise, it will be very difficult for you to realize your sundry debtors on time. If you want to send, while making the payment follow up, if any of your customer asked you, please send us the copy of the ledger account. By placing the cursor on a specific ledger account and by clicking this ledger button, system will display you the ledger account in the screen. And if you want to generate the PDF format of this ledger account, clicking this print button, we can generate the ledger account of this customer. Here we can see at the moment 27 lakh is receivables from this customer. If you want, you can generate the PDF format of this report and we can WhatsApp or email this ledger account statement to your customer. If you want to generate the report based on a specific date range, for example 1st January 2024 to 31st December, for the previous year, whole year, I want to know the ledger book. Enter the date range and by clicking this print button, here we can see in the year 2024 there was no sales, only one cash receipt we received, And all this payment, 27 lakh, was pertaining to the previous years. So in this way, periodically you can generate ledger account of all these customers and you can email them for reconciliation as well as payment settlement. If you are making this habit on quarterly or yearly, even the customer will be thinking that you are maintaining all the accounts intact. Based on this follow-up, 100% there will be a chance of making the payment or receiving the payment from the customers on time. So thank you for watching this video.